hit the button a little early. Yes, a little early. First time for everything. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. I know some people probably got their notifications set for 6, and now it's 6, so. Peace, love. Welcome to Tuesday Tea and Bourbon. Look, it's been like 2 weeks and I already forgot all the things. So this is our last week for the season. As you all know, I've been doing this. Now it's been I think it's been a little bit more over a year. And I had last year, it started in 2020, and I have several episodes on my YouTube that you all can check out. Last year was just the Tuesday Tea theme. I talked to a lot of practitioners of all different areas and spectrums. I talked to them this year. I got some close sister friends together, and we add a little bourbon, we add a little sauciness to our tea, and so we've been talking about all things wellness. It's really for us to have accountability to check in with each other, to talk about our practices, the way that we maintain our balance, and the way that we're carrying ourselves in our business. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and take a moment to share. I'm going to wait while some people get live. Peace, peace, peace. Erica just joined. All right, let's get people added. It's already been a couple of weeks, and I don't know all the things. I'm like, hi, beautiful.
We're here.
Hi,
mama.
I know, it's like we made it. Woo. Last couple of weeks.
It's been rough.
It's been a lot of things, yes. It's been a lot of things. And I wanted us to get the opportunity to get on here and check in with each other. And, you know, I know our schedules are like all over the place right now. Mine is changing soon. And I wanted to give people an opportunity to see our faces together.
Yeah.
One last go around this season, and we'll kind of wrap it up. And, you know, we'll keep it going eventually, but sounds good, feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, waiting for Joy to get on here. And it looks like Lucretia will not be able to join us because, again, she's super booked and busy right now. She's in her season, so peace. You spinning, Joy, already. You spinning. All right, let's see. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tea and Live. See, look at me, y'all. Get me together.
Tuesday Tea and Bourbon live.
Y'all go ahead and share. It's been a couple weeks, so my brain is just like bleh. So y'all share this live, tag someone, bring someone in. This is for the healers, and everyone really. You know, just to come in and get some love. You know, share the tea with us. Let us know what you're drinking. I got some whiskey in the bottom of my cup today, but I got my cardamom and my chai and all that other stuff. I had a really good consult with Joy here.
I love that
yesterday, and so I'm trying to get some other herbs in my cup. What y'all feeling? What y'all sipping on over there?
I actually forgot my cup. Just look real quick.
Go ahead.
I forgot my cup.
Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all.
Joy, how about you? What do you have in your cup?
Mine is just water today.
Just water today?
I know.
You're doing my usual.
Well, I had just come back from the beach with my good friend Ricky a couple days ago, and I have no like real sippy stuff other than like water and tea, so I'll just do, you know.
Oh, I made this wrong, y'all. I might have to slow down. I might have to really sip on that. Take my time. Because by the end of this, I might be laughing really loud and silly.
It's just Tuesday bourbon. Just
seriously.
Neat, no chaser.
Mm-mm. So how y'all been? What's been going on these last couple of weeks?
Yay. Oh my goodness. I had my 35th birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you,
Happy
thank you.
belated 19th birthday.
Right.
Hey!
Yeah. That.
I'll take that. It was good. It was really good. And it was like, right leading up to Lionsgate Portal. So it was just big shifts that happened. And now I'm kind of processing it all, I guess,
Yeah.
and waiting for Virgo season because Virgo season's going to be exciting.
Is it? You guys got
hmm
to tell me more about what's happening because for
hmm
sure I've been feeling all the shifts and like taking accountability for some of the things that have been happening.
hmm
But for sure, you guys got to tell me and all the people what is coming up next. What should we prepare for?
I want to know too, Erica, because I haven't caught up with you in a minute. Like you're rebranding and stuff. Like
I
that's on
am.
point. That's on point for the shifts. So that's cool.
Yeah, I am. Right now, I'm just going through more. I say rebranding because that's the only way to kind of like understand it. But being that I started my business so young,
hmm
I think that my mentality towards my business was very like in that space of limit, like limiting the possibility, limiting
Yeah.
the women that I can touch, limiting the vision of what it is. And I've been doing the work. And within the last couple of days, I've really been seeing the changes. Well, even the last week, yeah, been seeing the changes happening. So even for myself, I feel like even my face looks a little bit different. Like
You are
just
glowing now. You are.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
like
shifted.
my face looks a little bit different. Like my body feels a little bit different because like I wrote about it today. Like the rebrand isn't just about like my business, but it's really about my mindset.
Yeah,
And yeah, feeling
yeah.
good about it.
That's
Yay.
awesome. You're doing all the things. That sounds like just you putting everything together that we've been talking about. Like, removing the old narratives of our younger selves and really growing into what our new possibilities might be. And so, yeah, that's something we continue to have to bring to the table with ourselves,
Yeah.
the more that we, grow in our business, grow in our own individual awareness and things like that. So, kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
Yay.
good.
I feel loved. Listen, it's those moments where those days where you're like, what the hell is going on? You're like crying, the tears and everything's coming out. You're like, oh, that's why. Makes sense.
Exactly. The
Yes.
purge.
Yes, exactly. The purge, for real.
And those
It's
affirmations that we speak, it's funny that when we think of affirmations, we only think of, oh, it's positivity or, or it's going to make this huge positive, loving all flower shift. But yeah, those affirmations actually, like we talked about that too, can be tower shifting. It could be really tower tumbling and it can change things and really put you on a track that you're like, okay, I didn't know all of that was going to fall apart for me to
for
get
real.
here, but it
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you're speaking to is like asking for the growth and like you have to make room for the growth.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not what you think. It's not going to be, just like, oh, let me just like make this little garden plot right here and I'm just going to plant this
No.
little seed. It's like demolition time.
Yes,
And
it
then,
is. It's like legit demolition. And what I'm realizing is like there is so much ingrained that isn't ours. We talked about this before, but like your
Mhm.
ancestral and your paternal, like all of the stuff that isn't yours, and you're like, this is sticking to me. It's been sticking to me for 30 something
Mhm.
years of my life. It has nothing to do with me. Now I have to get rid of it. How the hell do I even do that? So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when you talk about sticking to you, like you talked about how your body is changing, your face is changing, things like that. And that's another part of it too. Why we talk about, especially in my practice, it's all about movement as well as other things because our body is calibrating to all of the different energetic stuff, the stuff that's happening in the planets, all of the things that's happening in our life that's really helping those molecular structures to begin to like adapt to what's happening right now, to what
yeah.
all the stuff that we've talked into our plans and our purpose. Like, that DNA structure that you was born with ain't built for what you got going on now. So
Shit.
that's a whole alchemical process you got to go through right there.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's beautiful. And it is showing really good on you. I keep
Yeah.
saying it
Thank
because
you. Thank
Erica,
you.
Erica Lux.
I'm feeling I'm coming into the feeling very rich auntie with the garden. I'm loving that. You know?
Yes. Whew.
We're gonna have Tuesday
That has
tea.
been a big one for me of like,
Yeah.
although, I redefining what richness is for me. I told you, I wake up in the middle of the night. Like, I've been waking up in the middle of the night and literally my mind is still running and I'll wake up and say something and go back to sleep. And it's just been like that for me. And so
Wow.
one of the things I woke up the night saying was like, I'm releasing a narrative around being rich. And then I went back to sleep. And it was like, and I had to like, when I got up, I was like, whoa, what was that about? And it was like this deeper subconsciousness really speaking to me about some of like, not necessarily the struggles that I've had with money, but the struggles that I've had with the narrative around what richness and what wealth is.
What it can look like.
For me.
That is, yes,
for me.
For you. Yes. Same.
Yeah. So that's been a big redefining for me, really letting go of what that is. And that's why I kind of had to take a break from this space, the social media space, because I'm a visual being and I'm an empathic being. So I really soak in everything that I see so that I can process it and observe it. And sometimes I soak in way too much. And me being a super ambitious person, we talk about all my Gemini placements and all those things. It really puts me in a mindset of really wanting to be super competitive in a way that doesn't fulfill me or doesn't really honor my authenticity. And so I've had to really separate myself from, what everybody else is doing in the world or what's happening and what's not happening in my world. And that way I can, get my grounding, recenter myself and say, look, that's not even mine. Like you said, a lot of these things aren't even mine that was sticking to me. A lot of these conditions, these narratives, these thoughts, a lot of these things that I was pursuing was not even something that's real for me, that feels good to me. Right. And so, releasing it. So yeah, it's been coming through like,
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. And I know that and it's interesting because I know that energetically, you're talking about the Lionsgate joy and, we understand the shifts of downloads that happens in that. When we think of Lionsgate, especially 8-8, we think of like the infinity, right? Symbol. And how these cycles just keep continuing on different continuums. So even as we switch dimensions or as we switch perspectives or as the world seems to kind of tilt on its kilter, we still bring in some of us that are infinite, all of the things that are infinite and within us. And so those things start to really manifest in what matters, what truly matters. Like, what is our true purpose? What is our true, soul identity, and how we show up into this skin, this earthly garment. As I was reading the keys of
your spacesuit, yes.
Your earth suit.
I love that. I was like, that's one way of looking at it for real. Seriously. But yeah, it's just really, so I'm paying attention to that of like how my body is, waking up in its sleep and saying, my spirit is speaking to me in different ways that it hasn't before. And, it doesn't, I think before my younger self, it would have scared me, but now it's like, no, this is showing me that I can handle more. The messages are coming to me in different ways. And so I just now have to spiritually put boundaries around myself, or spiritually even cleanse myself and prepare myself so that I can receive those in ways where it does not harm me, So.
And a big one for me has also, and you guys can let me know if this has been the same thing for you, is just taking, and when I said earlier, like taking accountability, it's really been like taking accountability for the energy that you bring. Like, yes, we're going through a lot of this, but like the narrative that you play yourself in your mind has a lot to do with how your energetic being just stands every single day. So I'm like, okay, if I'm responsible of that energy, then I can keep myself in a positive vibration every single day in order for me to have all the things that I want happen to me, or my life to change, or different, like all of those things, keep myself healthy, my body healthy. Like all of those things. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm responsible for that, then let me show up for myself in the best way that I can. What makes Erica feel good? What makes Joy feel good? You know, like, it's like those things. If not that, then nothing. Because honestly,
period.
You did. I see it. Even like the talk is like the shift, you know, like you're just like speaking this. I love it.
It's a movement of like when you, for me at least, honoring your spiritual self comes with a stance of courage. Mm-hmm. Like, if not this, then nothing. Like, I'm gonna stand in my own authentic truth. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to be anybody else. So I'm just gonna stand in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that is a huge one right now. And I know, Joy, we talked about this yesterday about, we didn't talk about it in the sense of courage, but we talked about it in the sense of losing the will, which is associated with the same thing. Right. Because when you don't decide, or when you don't stand for something,
then you'll fall for anything.
You lose that power. You lose that ability to take power over, you know, your circumstances, or over what you have right now in the present moment. And we recognize that's a lot what's happening with the social media, with the data, with all this technological advancement. Although it can be used for our great benefit, it can also be used to do what it always has done, and to pull the plug on our true identity, and to really get us reeled in emotionally, which feeds this monster.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Yes. I was reading an article recently. It had nothing to do with, like, you know, any like news or media or anything, but like, you know how I read, and it was talking about engineering consent, and that's what we're talking about. And I was like even that phrase, I was like, engineering consent.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry.
Ain't that something? Like, yeah, just like the way that we're, you know, like groomed to like not even, you know, understand like what you were saying, Erica, like who we authentically are, who we naturally are, and how no matter what, like, and Joy, when we were down in NOLA for this, you know, Sister Friend's partner was like, yeah, I don't read the charts or anything like that, because you're naturally and energetically, no matter even like what your chart says, you're going to have these shifts. You're going to live this life. You're going to, you know, express your starseed self, however it, you know, comes about. You're going to bloom no matter what. So, you know, and that kind of time takes, or that process takes time. Yeah. And, you know, to understand that you are definitely in charge of like your energy. And if you're thinking about in terms of like metaphoric, like seeds and planting and stuff, like, well, I can make my pH acidic or alkaline. I can, you know, like
that right there. That right there.
So I'm gonna engineer and craft this soil first, and then plant myself where I need be. Yep. And it's already happening. It's already happening.
Yeah, I mean, with the language change comes the change in spells, you know. It comes in it just changes everything. Like, literally, I was on a business call today, and I'm talking to someone about taking care of some contracts for me, and they said, oh, the way that you submit that, they have changed their name from Sam to Data. And I'm like, why did they change their government? This is a government entity. They changed it from something that we've known as Uncle Sam this whole time to Data. And I'm just that alone. I didn't even have to ask any more questions, because that was like, like a
Data Sam.
Like, straight up, like, that shit is crazy. You know,
Data Sam.
Like, okay, well, so that means that has put other kinks into the way that we do things, if we want to see it that way, or we can figure out ways to reprogram, our own language, like you said, re-engineer our own way of thinking about something, but really being mindful that, they're re-engineering it for a reason. And so we need to be really mindful about like how we, what we bring into to fertilize all of that. How much of our bring into it.
And we ain't talking political. We're talking spiritual. If we're we're holistically speaking, this is mind, body, spirit, and we're talking on a whole nother 5D and above. This is nothing to do with hoo-ha is going on. Yeah. Like, this, it is what it is.
Right, but it does and it does and it doesn't.
It's all because it's all interconnected. Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
it all translates on different realms. So yeah, so if you are taking care of yourself, if you are paying attention to, how those external narratives are trying to play and re-engineer things or whatever, then you can really make a decision on, okay, this is where I'm
This is for
going
me.
to, yeah, this is me, this is not me.
Yeah.
Redefining those values again. We've talked about that time and time again. Like, where are your values? That might be something you have to sit down with, especially if you are, an influencer, or you're really, really, dependent upon these streams, is to really like, reel it in and be like, okay, who am I again?
Yeah,
Who am I
exactly.
again?
Who am I again? Who am I?
They will make, because okay, let me remove the they. It will make a avatar out of you. You and so you have to kind of reel yourself back in and be like, okay, who am I?
Right.
Who am I in the real thing?
Reassessing your own energetic template. Like, what'd you come in with? What are your, like, I think that's why, even when we're talking, like, we've talked about this before, like, gentle parenting or reparenting or whatever, but like even figuring out like what you really enjoyed or liked or even lacked
Mhm.
maybe as a child,
Mm.
those are your, new superpower strengths, like,
They really are.
They
like I went
really
to,
are.
They
yeah,
really
I went
are.
to the, oh, let me show you. I went to the, speaking of that, so I was always really like super into crystals. It's like no surprise on this channel, right? And like, I went to, oh, what is the place called today? It's in Greensboro. It's Earth Songs, and they're also like locksmith place, but they also like
Yeah.
sell crystals.
Favorite
You know
places
the joke.
there. Yeah.
And I ended up buying some quartz today, and I was like, oh
Ooh.
yeah, I used to
Are those
collect.
spirit courts?
These
Those are.
are, let me see. Hold on.
Oh, it's spinning again. It looked like spirit
They're
courts.
called. Are you in my back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you.
you're back.
Yeah, they're spirit or cactus quartz, and I was like, these are so fire because they're purple, but they also have this like orange. It's almost like a sunset inside of it, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm about to like have the best, coolest dreams. Like these were just they called to me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's something that made me really happy as a kid. Like that's really something that spoke to me. It's something that's tangible. And then you can, like all these other meanings on top of this, like metaphysical meanings. So, yeah, just wanted to share.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny that you have those. When Lucretia did my birthday reading for me, and that's one of the crystals that came up as
Oh,
spirit cord.
really?
And I actually, when I first started my like reading, doing divination from others, I have a big spirit cord that I wore around my neck that looked like a phallus,
Nice. Yeah,
that I love to like carry around. So I was like, oh, it might be time for me to tap back into that cord. So yeah,
that's so
that spirit cord
funny.
energy.
I was wondering if I could like make these into earrings. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure
They
out, like,
are
I'm trying to figure out how to do
Absolutely.
it.
They're
Thank
beautiful.
you.
they are beautiful. Yeah, tapping into that childlike joy. That's one of my favorite things. Any way that I can do that. I've been talking about redecorating my office into like a whole anime space. So it like has I already have like
Absolutely.
posters up in my rooms, but different ways
Yes.
to just, remind me of like, yeah, to continue to be childlike and to think and feel with childlike, eyes and heart, open.
Yeah.
And yeah, that helps to kind of, yeah, to balance those energies in which when we feel like we're, drawn into this adulting like real hard, to be really serious and to be really, yeah, all of that. So but
Definitely
yeah.
did not. I always say, I'm like, definitely did not sign up for this, or did I? And if I
We
did,
did.
maybe I didn't know exactly what I was going to be signing up for. Because, my God.
Really? I feel like I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to like to teach my son now, because
Yes.
I can see where the things that were missed in my own like,
Right.
rearing into adulthood. And so now I can give him better guidance on like, oh, this is how you don't make this mistake, especially when it comes to the financial stuff and especially when it comes to relationship stuff.
Yes. I love that
Having
you
these, huh?
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love having these like really rich conversations with him and sitting him down. And yesterday he texted me and was like, "Ma, I didn't realize that." He was like, "Now I get why you keep telling me to like check my bank account, do my budget sheet every week." He was like, "I had a bill coming out of there that I don't even need anymore." And I was like, "See," I was like, "Well, I'm glad you're learning." But yeah, that's the reason why we do certain things. So stuff like that. It's like I'm able to see it and through his childlike, like detachment, but also be like, well, you're approaching 18 soon, and there's some things that we just have to. We can't completely detach ourselves from this life, otherwise
Yeah.
we're dead.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we have to figure out how to function and function healthy and function with the highest of our intentions, and there's some things we can't avoid.
Yeah.
So
and your rewiring will also enhance his rewiring too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I realized. I'm like, wow, like so much of my rewiring ends up touching so many different people who are around me. Like
when you upgrade, everybody
going.
does.
Yeah. It just
Yes.
keeps going.
Yeah, you can really see that. That's one thing that I tell my clients a lot. I'm like, when you are doing this, and not to take it on as more burden for yourself, but to understand that the work that you're doing, you don't have to do anything else for anybody else, because it's automatically going to shift the energy in the rooms that you are.
Exactly.
It's automatically going to shift the conversations and relationship that you have with your mother. It's
Right.
automatically going to change the way that you raise your children.
Right.
So, and that's something else I had to rewrite, like how to, that narrative around legacy building. I was like, oh, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. And it was like, no, I mean, yes, it has to be me for me. And then, and that changes, like I said, everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Your shifts, like you told me earlier, your shifts change your DNA, and that's enough. Like it's going to completely impact everybody who comes after you. So.
Yeah, you're the reverb. You see my post the other day, y'all? Like when it was like that Taurus symbol, Taurus, and it was just like the human form, but then you have like fear that's like really constricting around your aura, but then you have love, which is, they say like love is a verb, but love is a reverb. And so you just like factoring out. And that's why I'm not in the business of like healing per se, because that to me instills a codependent relationship. Yeah. I'm for co-creating. I'm not in for codependent. You don't.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
That's how I've thought about it, like during school and like all this other, like spaces that I've found myself in. And I think it's important, but again, to reiterate, like people just want permission to be their authentic selves and to unfold as they need to. And most people, I hate like speaking like out as if it's not me. We want to be witnessed. That's like one of the biggest like things that provides safety and comfort. And that's to me trauma informed care, is just to be able to like hold space and witness and not offer any kind of like save your ship. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a lot of friends who have really wonderful intentions, like, oh, you got to run your business this way, or oh, you got to put this on your page, or watch me do this so you can do this. I'm like, that's not me. But because that's your journey and you're elevating and you're, like making those strides and steps for yourself on your soul evolution or whatnot, I'm taking note, just in a different template. Trust
it. Yeah. That's another. Yeah, that's something I was. I do. Tony Jones affirmations meditation. I was sitting in my bath Sunday. That was one of my sacred, moments. And one of the meditations talks about, as an entrepreneur, I don't have to vent my traumas or commodify my traumas on my social medias or whatever, or through my business. And that has been always a push pull for me, because I've been like, I want to, of course, share my story, and I want to hold space for others that, have similar stories, but I want that to be in an intimate space. I'm very vigilant about how much I give myself on these platforms, because it can be dangerous and dangerous for myself, dangerous for other people, especially taken out of context, which we've seen 15 seconds here, 60 seconds there, can be really dangerous to be taken out of context. So, I like to be really mindful about that. And then for me, like Joy, you were talking about, just that piece of like really coming back into not wanting to be, wanting to be trauma informed. But I also want to make sure I have, the narrative, the language that I speak to my clients is around, I'm on this journey with you.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for allowing me to be on this journey with you.
Yeah.
How can I support you?
Yes.
Things like that, so that they understand that I'm taking you're the lead. I'm just taking your lead. I'm taking your hand. Whatever you say you need, that's what I feel like I'm going to support you with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create
Yes.
a little bit more context around that, and
Right.
do what we have to do to open that up. But even in the time frames in which I work with people are limited time spaces. And I always say, we can, after this period is up, we can come back and we can talk about where some growth points are, maybe where I need to refer you out, whatever, needs to happen next. Or you go to another program where it's less hands-on, whatever needs to happen next. And for me, that allows me too to like not be attached to
Outcome.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, the outcome of that client. I grew up really close with a lot of my people, and you can that kind of transference can happen, and all that stuff can happen where you're really overly invested in what the outcome of that situation can be, and that allows them to take that back into their own hands, and to
Exactly.
take a step back.
Yes, I love helping to foster autonomy and, like open that
Mm-hmm.
up, like in myself and with other people who, might not have even like, or they're waiting for permission to, like
Right.
call their, things back in. Some people might call it like soul retrieval work, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, like it is magical because it's alchemical and we're, co-creating this space that you get to, do that. But am I literally doing anything? Like, I'm here, I'm the witness, I'm the chi mechanic.
The team mechanic.
That's good.
I can't
Hi,
wait to get your
everybody.
classes started too, by the way.
I know. Oh, you mean the qigong?
Yeah. Are you gonna do
Yeah.
it virtually?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a space here. I think Seafood Lloyd might have a space, or like maybe outside or something like that, and like record it, and then like do online like virtual class like with it, because I just wrote a booklet for it, and I'm waiting to hear back from my master teacher just to like get the okay, because a lot of the information is from her lineage, like her family lineage. So I actually have to get written permission to reproduce it,
I see.
which to me is like so huge and important because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
nice.
I'm not Asian, I'm not, indigenous Asian anything. So it's really important for me to not commodify that and to get the
Yeah.
permission from her
Yeah.
and appropriate in any way. But she's been pushing me. She's like, why aren't you teaching this yet? I'm like, because I'm nervous.
What a beautiful, responsible way
To do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, just waiting for the green light and then we'll go.
Yay.
Mhm.
Amazing.
I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to creating more space, like on this side. I'm gonna shift back into my field, kind of new, something new, doing something a little bit new. Um, and I'm looking to kind of like pull away from creating the content in my business in that way, so that I can write, just freely write. I really just want to freeform write and see what
Mhm.
happens and what comes out. Um, Something else that's, again, been coming up for me is like, what ways can I create more freedom for myself? Freedom in
Yeah.
my business,
Huge.
freedom in my skills and the way that I offer myself. For people on here that have struggled with the idea of, giving up, sacrificing their 9 to 5 to do entrepreneurship, I like to tell people that it doesn't have to be an either or. It can be an also and. Take your
Yeah.
time to figure that out. And especially if you are someone, that has certifications and degrees, that you can push, have multiple things going on, then allow yourself to do that. Again, don't define yourself based on what you're seeing other people doing. A lot of people are
Mhm.
getting on this trend of, you know, you know, entrepreneurship. I'm not working this 9 to 5 and all that other stuff, but it's okay for you to have a regular job. Like it's all right for you to do that,
Yeah.
especially if it's what's gonna keep you fed and also keep you feeling secure. You
Yep.
know?
Exactly.
Because when you don't feel secure, when you don't feel anchored, you're not able to freely do the other things that you need to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, and it's one of the things that I've stopped struggling with a long time ago because I like things in my field and that I'm not able to do in my personal work, in my individual work. Um, and I like having different options and different things that I can do. And so that's just one thing that I like to share to people. Like, give yourself the freedom to be able to express yourself in all the ways that you were created to do so. Use those skills.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, Joy, if you want to share what avenue you're taking and how you're going to create that freedom, that space for the people that you'll be working with, because I think that's super important, especially now.
Yeah, I just took a position which I'm going to be working with children with autism. So
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah, working with behaviorals. I've been in the mental health field for a very long time, and I've been back and forth between strictly like mental health and more like towards behavioral aspects of it. And I really like to work with people with behaviors. That's what I do in my own work, is to really shift those things that like from the eating to the just everything, movement and all the other stuff. And to do that with children, especially dealing with children that are on the spectrum, to me is really, really important because we're seeing a lot more. We're seeing children with autism rates that we have never seen before. And it's important for us to begin to understand what that means, how we can be there for them compassionately to help them function to the best of their ability.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like important work. It also puts me back in the space of working with children and being childlike myself.
Yeah.
And that's the freedom that I need. And again, like taking away from like having large caseloads, I really was getting really burnt out with that system because the way the wellness or the way the mental health uh, industry is really structured is not really about wellness. And so
Right.
I wanted to, put myself in a better position to where I can be in more control of what that looks like for me and my clients and my patients or whoever I'm working with. So yeah, it feels like fun. It feels like freedom for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So what's new? What's whatever's new in you guys' world besides, other things we've been talking about?
What's up, Erica? Does it feel like I haven't heard from you the most? Like recently. We need to catch up.
I have some things going on that I cannot talk about, which is exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I have some things that I'm working on I cannot talk about. That's very exciting. I think for the most part, like the rebrand and the redefining of me and my brand is just the biggest thing. Just taking it in stride and understanding what it takes. And then also understanding that as I'm removing things from my mind and from my like DNA, there's also a whole lot of relearning that needs to be done. So I'm also taking accountability in that space where I'm like, okay, let me find the teachers,
Right.
like let me just make sure that energetically I'm in a space so that when those teachers show up, I'm learning, I'm absorbing, and I'm moving on,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna be taking, at least for me in this space, I'm saying, okay, if you're gonna relearn a lesson, do it differently this time so that you don't have to relive it again.
Come on.
And that's super powerful for me in this space. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Whatever I need to learn, I'm willing to accept. I know the lessons. Now I'm like, all right, I know what the video game is going to do. Let me put my plan in place now so that when the teachers come, I learn, I absorb, and I move on. So that's it.
Yeah, get those cheat codes too while you're at it. Get those cheat codes.
Yeah, different cheat codes, exactly. I'm like, let me just sit and be silent for a little while and
AB,
just
right.
observe. Just
Yeah.
observe. And at the same time, a lot of the things that you guys were saying are all the things that I'm saying that are that I want to be put back in my business. Like before I was like, oh,
Mhm.
let me just put out content and make sure that I'm doing this and putting all this stuff out. And now I'm like, these women don't just want another brand
Right.
Yeah,
that's going to
exactly.
be throwing stuff at them. Like, what does this stuff mean? There's a
Fast
connection to it.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, building a sisterhood is like super important. So now I'm creating like affiliate programs for women who actually love the products to be able to talk about the products and then be able to be paid from talking about those products. Like, that's important because then we're empowering each other through a collective, not just in terms of how you look, but
Right.
also in your confidence as well. Like
Yeah.
in your confidence that you can do whatever you want. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope. I
Yeah.
love it.
little things, but I think they're small things, but they're powerful. So
Yeah.
I'm happy about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. I love those
Slow
little
growing.
pebbles that create those ripples that move into those waves, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
really
like, what
powerful.
at the core, I'm like, it's moments like this where I'm with my sisters that I'm like, okay, this is what more brands need to feel like. A deep
Yeah.
Yeah.
conversation or a warm hug or a support system. Imagine if there were brands that felt like that every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Thank you
yeah.
for that. Thank you for that. That's reaffirming for me. That's the
Mhm.
reason why I like to do platforms like this, and also like take time and space to like pull away from it, because it's all like, okay, where is it beginning to be a point where it's like I'm pushing these things onto people, you know
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, so let me bring it back to what exactly did I start this for? What
Yeah.
exactly did I intend for this, and what exactly are people saying that they need from this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it
Exactly.
allows, yeah, like I said, that space and that freedom. And yeah, I hear you, Eric. It's the little things. It's sometimes we like to um everybody, the ego wants to be seen. The ego wants to be big, to have these huge impacts, to really dwell into this self-importance, but really it's that's not what it's about.
Right.
That's not what any of this about. It's really
Right.
about, how much, what little things can we do, in each moment to bring better harmony and awareness to ourselves and to others, that will
Mhm.
affect others, that will impact others, or just will
Mhm.
just cause that ripple, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
look at the leaders and you look at the people who have come before us, and their intentions weren't to feed their egos or to be these huge, colossal things. I'm sure they wanted to impact and move people around the world, but they did it hand to hand. Like they did it with the people right next to them. They talked to the
Mhm.
people, they built up themselves through their own understanding, their own development, their healing, and their leadership. And they took a sacrifice in terms of them being like, well, it's not about me, it's more about the people. I
Right.
think that's where we need to be going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And really, like, be mindful of when we get caught up in and like perpetrating the same things, the same systems that were created in capitalism. They really excluded people. And so that's what I see that we're doing. Like that some people are doing is they are, trying to define, what wealth and what success looks like for them in their business, but they are just just copy and pasting the same capitalistic structures, that were, like I said, excluded.
Mhm.
And really, it didn't really benefit or impact people in a way that was inclusive. And so I think, that's something that, especially as practitioners, that we just need to constantly be aware of, like right now, as things are swinging and shifting constantly. Taking that look again in the mirror and being like, okay, like, who am I doing this for? Why am I doing this?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, those are good boundaries. Those are good energetic boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
too, of like what's my actual thought versus
Mm-hmm.
a, you know, collective soup of thoughts. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
does this gumbo look good? I don't know.
Exactly. Does it look good?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
put the seasoning in? Like, what is it? What is
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. It's a good
Mhm.
time to really to slow down and to really, yeah, be super intentional, you know, about. I think for me, it feels important to be more in contact with people, like in my space, on like physical space, because I feel like that is a connection that is constantly being yeah, turn away. It's being like separate. We're being separated from that, and I think it's important for us to have like these the touch, the actually hearing my voice in real time. You know,
Yep.
Mhm.
to actually looking into my eyes, and you know, to having those sensory and all the energetic feels that you can only feel when you're like in the presence of someone. And then also in nature, like spending those times. I always talk about that too, really spending that time being connected to the land where you are, you know, having that relationship where you are, and really tuning into what's happening, and it can slow down time, because right now time feels really, when we're plugged into these, you know, into these sources, it feels super sped up. It feels super, super sped up. And so allowing ourselves to really, like, you know, wind down, tune in, pay attention, watch the butterflies go by. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, it's about to be fall. Like it just, I don't even know what happened to this year. It's just amazing. Like, and so, you know, taking that time and space to really appreciate the people that you have around you, you know,
Yeah.
build those important relationships, and, you know, ask for those specific alignment, because, you know, those relationships can get you in doors that, you know, all this other stuff can't get you in, no matter how good you are at building the platforms, the content, whatever. Those relationships
Right.
are super, super important. And that's something, like Erica was talking about, that I build, like our predecessors can, you know, has definitely, you know, exemplified, like building those relationships and community, were the only way, you know. And
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
know that's something, otherwise, you know, our, what other reason what we have, why we would have what we have in our physical bodies and physical form, and being able to communicate one another. And I
Yeah.
think that's important to
Hmm.
just, you know, stay in tune with. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
I
People
want
just
to
went in.
know what I want to know what you guys have in your medicine cabinets currently, like little things to share. Anything that you're taking like daily, just for your well-being or your immune system.
Hmm. Something I'm taking daily. I've been taking zinc. I still take my womb balance. Any woman, okay, once again, I am not a medical doctor. Please do not listen to me. I don't have a degree in medicine. Don't listen to me. I am speaking from my own experience. Do not go into your cabinets and try this on your own. Okay, now that we've gotten that out the way.
Disclaimer.
I've been taking
It's
womb
necessary.
balance for the past, what, I'd say 6 months, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay. Yeah, about 4 to 6 months.
Mm,
I've seen a tremendous shift in
cool.
my energy just in balancing my hormones. So, ladies, if you're feeling a little foggy, you're feeling like, a lot of people are getting cysts and endometriosis and fibroids and the whole 9 yards. Look into different things for your womb. Start doing a 15-minute meditation in the mornings, opening yourself up, doing some breath work, qigong. Like Joy
Hey.
says, I just started finding some videos online and like practicing
Awesome.
where you're actually doing movements with your body. Like, find the things that are going to make you feel good. All of those things would be like red raspberry,
Mm,
ashwagandha. I think there's something else in there that I've been taking too. I've still been taking dandelion and burdock. All those things.
cool.
that are going to just regulate your liver, help your body flush things out, drinking your water, minding your business, as everybody says. But yeah, those are the things.
I love that. Minding your
Okay.
business is a huge one. Yes. Yeah. I mean, same, Erica. Like I've hit this age, and and I realized that like over the year I've gained quite a bit of weight, more than I thought that I did. It kind of crept up on me, and I know a lot of it is more hormonal than it is anything else. And so yeah, I'm paying a lot more attention to that now, which is another freedom that I need for myself as well right now. Really paying attention to, okay, what is my body saying it needs in this stage of life?
Right.
And so trying to do things like regulate my sleep, because that has been weird, as I talked about. Taking the ashwagandha, taking the, I have dandelion tea every morning. B12 has been a huge one because I have a lot of
Yes.
the nervous system stuff going on, and the brain
Mhm.
fog is happening. So I kind of need to
Write
check
it
on.
down.
Yeah.
So,
Vitamin D is another huge one for me. I make a little bit less as we got towards the end of the summer, because I'm spending more time in the sun, and trying to get outside more. But
yeah.
yeah, and that's one too, like getting outside more. That was a big thing for me when I first moved here. I've been in the house a lot. I really wanted to be in my solitude and figure and really ground myself in my own space and energy and rest. And so I needed to get back out there to kind of find my own sacred spaces with nature and my connections out in the world. So that's been huge for me. Yeah, movement, working out, trying to find a consistent flow in my workout. It's been challenging with the vacations and such, but but I can say I've been more consistent than I have ever been. At least, if I take that week off, I'm right back on it. Like,
Exactly.
or even the week that I'm on vacation, I'm still at least doing one workout,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's huge for me. Just really, like I said, slowing down, paying attention to my body, my mind, my mental
Hey.
space.
Yes. That's cool. Yeah, I posted yesterday, I think, like a list of things that are in my personal medicine cabinet. So I wanted to share those with folks. And they might not work for everybody. You want to, definitely understand herb to herb interactions, because some herbs can kind of cancel out each other,
Mm-hmm.
or exacerbate certain things that you don't want.
Yeah.
And herb drug interactions. So, like, just do your diligence, make sure, talk to your healthcare providers, whether Eastern or Western medical providers. Some things that I take. Okay, I found a CBD with ashwagandha in it. This
Wow.
is this is the game changer. I love this. You take 4 a day. That's what the directions say on the side of this. I got this at House of Health if you're in Greensboro. $5.99. It is a
CBD
bargain.
and ashwagandha.
Yeah, it's like a stress. It's like stress
That's what I'm sitting
modulator.
here thinking. That probably mellows you out
Oh
and
my
just
gosh,
makes you feel
I
like,
This is
can't
okay.
just
imagine.
like I don't feel sleepy. I don't feel like fuzzy headed or foggy headed. It's literally like if I take this, and I try to take some stuff like this pretty consistently to feel the like positive energetics of it. So like in the morning, I wake up, I have some lime water, and I take this. I take 4 of these and I go about my day. And it feels awesome. Like I don't
Wow.
feel, and I'm always posted up in a coffee shop or something too, like writing or researching or like, doing schoolwork or studying. So like that kind of stuff is like mentally, it can be mentally stressful. Now with this, this is awesome. Yeah. Plus CBD is really good also for like lung health support.
Everything.
It's got so many awesome properties to that. I also so in 2020, oh my gosh, I I think I had COVID-19, and I
And as soon as you said that,
Yeah. That's wild. How instant that was. I thought it was going to happen when she said CBD, but wow.
Oh my God, miss, that's so frustrating. And look, it won't let her come back on, y'all. When I say this is real, see
We're
that's
just
why.
showing you in real time. She has completely left the building, people, in real time.
I'm
Just
surprised that she even said it because we talk about not talking about it. Like we talk about not saying the word because she's like, yo,
like, okay, in
see?
real time.
That's why I went in on the beginning of this. I was like, y'all need to be more y'all need to know, like, this is real.
We're just here and we're sharing our data.
And it's not even letting me.
Mm-mm.
See?
Not
I
at
don't even know
all.
why you said it. I was like,
Uh-uh.
why would you say it?
Not today, Satan. Come on.
But
No.
that was a good case closed right there. That
Yes,
was good.
everyone, pay attention.
Did y'all
Look at
see
what.
that? Come on now.
Woo.
Listen. Okay.
Yeah.
Red marine algae has been amazing for me. Love that stuff. I also take a B12 supplement.
Yeah, guys, give me what's the name of the B12 supplement that you take?
You like this one? I just bought like the cheapest one. It's Nature's Way.
Okay.
And these are like chewable. They're cherry flavored because like I have so many supplements to like swallow that
Yeah.
chewables are awesome. And these, I mean, I normally don't like cherry stuff at all, but these are all right. And I take like 3 to 4 at a time because it's also like varied for me in particular. That's not a recommendation. That's like what I do personally. And it's because like there have been days where it's been like mentally stressful or mental anguish moving across country during all that, like,
Yeah.
so like to up my B12 in order to feel, like, okay, I got this. I know that I can put one foot in front of the other. That was super helpful. I take bromelain because I often also take sea moss. Like I make sea moss gels. So bromelain's like really awesome too. Um, Mostly for like
Bromelain.
digestive. Bromelain. It's mostly for digestive. Bromelain you can get. It's an extract actually from pineapple. So if you consume a lot of pineapple, like fresh
Oh.
pineapple, organic pineapple, Asian food markets are the joint.
Yep.
You're getting that same thing, but bromelain is just like, if you don't have access to it, sometimes this is cheaper. Who knows? You know. I If I don't have the red algae, I take some amount of sea iodine. If you have thyroid stuff, consult
Yes,
because
please go to your doctors,
yeah,
guys. Don't
go to
don't
go to
listen
your
to us.
doctors. Go to your doctors. This one actually is a blend of bladderwhack and potassium iodine, which
I'm
is
starting to really love bladderwhack.
it's really good. I know. I like teas too. Like I'll have that in like tea, and it tastes like the ocean. Like it's a little salty or whatever. But in Chinese medicine, salt goes to your kidneys as well. It's really good. It's healthy for it in the correct amount. You don't want excess, and you don't want like too little of it either. But like that's the right deal. And for a lot of people take like folic acid, whether you are
Countdown, y'all.
of course. Whether you trying to, conceive or whatever, just take care of like basic womb health or whatnot. What you
Isn't it
want,
folate, the one that you're supposed
what
to
you
take?
want is L-methylfolate. That's the form that is like natural to your body. Same thing with like vitamin D's. You want like natural, not synthetic, but there is really an alchemical relationship, especially with melanated people that you have with the sun. Everybody needs it, but in particular, that can cause a lot of stuff when you're deficient in that. So a supplement is good, but it's not always the right synthesis within your body. That would make sense.
Think of
So
yourself as a plant.
you are a beautiful
Yes.
plant. Some of us are tropical plants. Some of us are desert plants. Some of us are rainforest plants. Yeah, that's super true.
Love, y'all. It's been beautiful with you all joining us this season. And yeah, yeah, we got to figure out another way in doing this, because I like to talk about things that I want to talk about without being blocked. And so that's part of the reason why I'm kind of taking a break. So love y'all. You all can follow each and every one of us. If you want to catch the past episodes of Tuesday Tea and Bourbon, you can subscribe to my YouTube. Link is in the bio. We love you all. Take care of yourselves. If you have any questions for any one of us, you can contact me, DM me, or DM, the sisters. Love,
the collective.
We got you.